Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is our Simple Abundance year with Sarah Breathnach's book, Simple Abundance. And I'm so excited for today's video. You guys know, if you've been watching my channel for a while, there are a couple things I love. My journal being one of them, but then my planner is just the ultimate. I have such love for my planner. And today I'm going to do what's officially called on YouTube unboxing of my new planner pages. I have only opened up the box and then slit the plastic open. I'm excited to say this is a brand new pattern for me. It's still my Franklin Covey is my preferred planner system, but I've never ordered blooms before, so we're going to open this together. I will say what I've had for a long time, for the past couple of years, is I've had the seasons pages, which it's like every time, like these are spring, so it's like, you know, tulips and stuff, and then when winter comes, the edges of the pages are the various seasons. But blooms, as you can imagine, is all about flowers, so we're going to check it out together. I haven't even looked at it. I only saw the online previews of it. Pretty. I'm going to go through, I have, because I'm so into this, and I think my first planner was in the year 2001. My first Franklin Covey planner. So I have so many, and you can probably see them in the background here too, so many of these little binders where I keep past forms in, and I'm going to go through some of those. But I just want to show you what it looks like. Pretty. So that's a view of the month. So you get your monthly tabs, and even actually look at, they've got them sort of like, it's like a grayish pink setup here. My planners go July to June. That's just how I've had them for the past few years. I think I always went January to December, but one year, unfortunately, my car was broken into, and they stole my planner. Can you believe it? I was beside myself. In fact, this is back when Craigslist was more utilized, and I put a note on Craigslist out of everything that was taken. In fact, there was a laptop stolen out of my car and everything. It was bad. I wanted my planner back more than anything, and I put that on Craigslist, and actually my planner and the bag that it was in did show up in an alleyway, and the police called me, and it was actually in pretty good shape, but it was really drenched because it had rained and everything. So I believe that's why that year that it happened, I had to get new planner pages, and so I had to start with a June to July setup. But either way, they have two options. You can either start with January to December, or you can start July to June. And that's why I'm all excited, because it's time for new pages. So there's a sheet always for weekly tasks. There's always actually two in the month. There's personal and business task lists. And then I've told you guys before that what I do when I get my weekly task lists is I do a double thing for checking off, just like this, and I have business on one side and personal on the other, because I just realized after years and years that if I didn't separate the two, that the business always took precedence, and then it was like I wasn't getting around to the stuff that I had to do at home. So let's look and see. I like the cursive writing. That's pretty too. So my preferred setup is so that you can see the entire week like that. They have other ones that will have the weeks split horizontally, but I really like to be able to open it and just see the week as it falls. And then I actually am so into stickers that if you've heard of the Happy Planner, system. Let's see if I can grab that. I have stickers. Yeah, I have one right here. I have stickers of all different types, but I like to use these for various appointments. So they're little squares and they fit perfectly also into here. So you can see that there are the hours of the day too, so it allows you to schedule if you have appointments. Let's see what else. It's probably about the same throughout, but it is pretty. And they always give you some extra blank note paper. And then, oh, I like this too. You get a sheet with all of the holidays and observances for various years. So this one starts 2020. So you can tell what day of the week something might fall on, you know, if it's not like a typical Monday or Thursday or something. But it tells you, and then you have them out for several years. And then also you get pages for the following year so that you can put things in there so that when you get your next planner set up, you already have them written down. And then there's even a, you know, future years like that where it just has the whole year on one page. I like to save these things right here, and you can see I have them in here. Because remember at the beginning of the year, I showed you guys my planner and how I like to have a special page for each month with the joyful simplicities, from some of them from Sarah's book and then some of them that I've come up with on my own for various months. So when I print out my sheet, usually I just affix it right to one of these pages if I don't print it out on its own card sheet. So I grabbed one of my overflow books here. I just want to get more comfortable because I'm kneeling right now. I'm going to grab a chair. Hold on. I wanted to show you some of the forms in here. And like I said, I've had Franklin Covey for so long that you always get a personal record page, and this has things like your emergency contact numbers. It even has a spot for you to put your clothing sizes and personal information. Now it does have, and there's another sheet too that has passwords for things, and I hope that if you ever write those things down that you are cryptic about the coding. Like for me, I have a few different ones that I use, and I won't write the whole thing. I will just write something like say it's a flower, like for instance, because of this bloom theme. Say it was like tulip 2020 or something like that. I would probably put the tulip one or something like that, so that when I looked at it, I would know, oh, all right, well, it's the tulip 2021. On the back of that sheet, there's information for friends and family information as well, in case you want to have, it actually has like blood types for people in case you needed something like that, like in an emergency situation. And then there is an actual medical records sheet. And you know, honestly, I don't keep a lot of this stuff in my planner. That's why I have some of these can't say the word, excess pages, because I haven't used them. There's a website tracker one with login information, comments, things like that. Then this is a sheet for special days for people's birthdays throughout the year. That's really helpful. Then this is a planner guide. And I'm thinking, I don't think when you get your new, like I'm looking at my new package here. It doesn't come when you're buying your first, or your refill, I guess is what I bought. I'm not sure how you actually will get one of these at this point. I think they used to include it and now they don't, because, so they used to actually have storefronts where you could go in and buy stuff and talk to associates and stuff, but now everything is online. So I'm sure just like a lot of companies, they've cut out costs and things. So I bet you actually all of this is available online. That's probably why they don't bother printing it too. So it talks to you about the components of the planner. I didn't even say too that, so the Franklin Covey setup is based on actually Benjamin Franklin's journals and things that they've found for him, and also Stephen Covey is the Covey part of Franklin Covey. And so it's based on Stephen Covey has 7 habits, and I don't have them right in front of me to list them off, but that's what this whole thing is based around, though. And it's a lot of it is goal setting. Like one of them is start with the end in mind. So it's definitely a good read. If you haven't read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that's his main book, but there's so many different versions and other focuses of it. So there are a bunch of things that you can do. And remember my video from way back when, I think it was the second video on my channel back in January, when I talked to you about setting up my journal. So a lot of this stuff I do in my journal. And in fact, I was looking through this really quickly before I hit record, and I'm remembering now in that video I was saying, oh, I can't remember where this one came from, and it was from this Franklin Covey. So I'll give it a nod in just a second. So you're gonna come up with things like identifying your values, like what is most important to you. That's again something I went over in that video. Setting goals and using your monthly planner pages to help you achieve those and keep you on task. This is a very task-oriented system, I will say. And for somebody like me, I've shared with you guys several times, I really enjoy task lists and checking things off. I get a high when I can mark it as done. And then also there's weekly planning. Not going into great detail because you can always read this later. I will put the link to, I'm sure that this is on their website, but you could check it out if you're really interested into it. And then remember also that in my planner video, that one that I talked about, or it was my journal video actually, I should say, I talked about identifying the roles that you have in your life. So that's another thing as far as like, if you're a mother, what is your role in terms of that? You're a manager at work. What is your role in terms of that? Okay. Also, and I have to say, I don't get this far into it, but prioritizing what they call ABCs. So making sure that when you're making your task lists that it is prioritized. So there's actually like coding that you can put like A1, A2, B1, B2. So I honestly don't do that. I feel like I have enough of a sense of what I know is important when I look at my overall list. But I can understand the reasoning for doing that. Then this is more about like if you went to a Franklin Covey workshop, which I believe they do still have, then it would take you through the various activities. So I mentioned that you're going to be identifying your roles, and then briefly said something about values too. So clarifying your values, identifying your roles, and then evaluating. Did I miss? Okay. So these are sheets that you can actually go through and do all these things. So identifying your values. So like an example is, this is how blind I am. Let me look at it up close. I do excellent work every day. I am open to the ideas of others. I have a positive attitude, and I'm a happy team player. Those are the statements of being, all right, the value is, for this example, is professionalism. So the things that I just said where I do, I can, I am, all that, those are clarifying statements to get down deeper into what professionalism means to that person. That's just an example. So say you were doing something about being a spouse or something, and then you might say something like, I am constantly thinking of my partner. I am aware of his or her needs. I am giving, loving, attentive, I don't know, things like that. Those are just off the top of my head. So those are coming up with your values. And then coming up with your roles. And I think what I just said about being a spouse is actually more of a role. So let me take that back. And sorry, this is nothing, I didn't prepare this presentation to be super succinct here. I'm just speaking as I'm going through it. So let's see, back to the values then, since I basically just gave you a role. For the values, if you think of like, so professionalism was one of them. So what would another value be? It could be, I was going to say friendship, but that's kind of a role also. Perhaps it is organized, and then clarifying what that means. So it would mean something like, I have a system of tasks, I have accountability, various things like that. Okay, so you get the idea of the roles and the values. Sorry, I sort of reversed those as I was saying it. Then there's other questions that you can get in to really get in more closely, understanding roles and values and things like that. Okay, this is what I was saying. I couldn't remember where I came up with this, but that I do it every year in my journal. And this is, what do I want to be? What do I want to do? And what do I want to have? So now I know. Now I can attribute that. I should go back and change the notes on that video so that you guys know. This is something really important to ask yourself. And if you didn't feel like you were ready to do it at the beginning of the year, I hope you'll think about it now that we're halfway through, a little more than halfway through our Simple Abundance path. So hopefully you've really gotten to get to know yourself more so far this year and get in touch with the inner power, I guess, if you will, to know that you're worth it and to know that you can say what I want to be and do and have and not feel like there's anything holding you back. Tribute statements I would have to look at more closely. Imagine that it's your 18th birthday. You've lived a fulfilling, rewarding life. Sorry, your 80th birthday. I was going to say 18th. That's only just starting out life. All right, imagine that it's your 80th birthday. You've lived a fulfilling, rewarding life. Friends and neighbors from your personal and professional life have gathered to celebrate and pay tribute to you. What would you like them to say? How do you want them to remember you? Write the tribute you would like to receive from each person in your life next to the appropriate box. This activity will help you think about the kind of person you want to become, preparing you to write your personal mission statement. So in that same video, sorry I keep mentioning that, but I guess I should put a link to it in the comment box. I did tell you guys how I'd written my obituary at one of the workshops I went to. This is actually a little bit more specific in putting down each person in your life and what you would hope that they would remember you for. That's very detailed. And then some more evaluation questions. Then, what's a personal mission statement? That's the next thing. That is really honing in. Hopefully you know what a mission statement is, like for a business or whatever, but this is really honing in on how you want to live your life. And I told you guys at the beginning of each year, I write a vision statement for the year. I also do consider the mission statement as well. And remember, I also told you that just like when we went through the roles pages in here, I will write, in a sense, a little mission statement for each role as well. So I am not doing it exactly like, so this system has you doing multiple clarifying statements. I basically read to you guys in that video an example of one where it was about friendship, I believe. And I read a little sort of like mini paragraph about it. I suppose each one of those is a clarifying statement. Then you have a couple of extra pages. Then when you get into goal setting, this is where you are so you have a goal and you're breaking it down into manageable tasks. And then from here, that allows you to take it and put it into your planner. Like say something is due in 3 months, then you have 10 tasks and you're going to split them up for each week. That's how it helps you get through and finish these goals. What is the top thing too? Oh, it has what your value, mission, and role is in that as well. That might be most suited to somebody that is very goal oriented or who has a lot of things with their work that require long-term planning. Might not be appropriate for everybody. Then there's some extra forms in here that I just put in that are really great. There's a monthly budget worksheet for various things like the car, children, clothing, entertainment. And then you can track, it's almost like a check register. You can track some of your expenses. There's an automobile information record for service notes and reminders. There's also some income and expense tracking on that sheet. I found this information record to be really helpful when I did manage a staff because I would have one of these pages for each employee. And then if we had a conversation or if they had an issue or if there was anything that needed to be noted, then I would note it on here. And that way I could just easily look back. Again, just like your passwords, you got to make sure this stuff is secure. So you may not be in, maybe you have a lock on your planner, I don't know, but you may not want to be carrying that around or have them know that you have that. You know, you can't tell from this book because this is just like a regular binder, but the planning system is set up with these rings here, right? And so this is kind of neat that I like these little pages because I can stick them in between, like say I'm in the middle of, well, this is an example of something that, you know, the way that I do it, but like say I wanted to put something in here and, you know, just have it like a little to-do list. That's why I like those. And then menu planner, if you want to use that. And then there's a shopping list on the back. You know, there's so many videos on YouTube about planning, menu planning. Something I have tried, and in fact, actually, that's funny, that thing that I turned to, you might have seen the word freezer. I was doing an inventory 2 weeks ago on what I had in the freezer, what I had in the cupboards and everything, because I did decide that I was going to try to just make sure that I used things that I had instead of going out and getting more stuff. Because typically you have plenty of food in the house, and you might even forget that you had, say, like a bag of rice, and then you bought another bag, not realizing that you had it. So I did an inventory. But so shopping list and meal planning is really good. There's also a health and fitness tracker for your food and what kind of exercise you had, snacks you had throughout the day, stuff like that. This is kind of funny, a little party planner if you're having that. And then even on the back, there's party essentials. This is a dedicated sheet for passwords. And then this is a gift log. That's a pretty good thing to keep. In another video, I told you guys in my home binder how I had people's, the holiday list for cards. And so that's similar too, to remember what you gave people or possibly what they gave you. I just keep this in my journal on a page. I think I mentioned this to you guys in that same video that I've referenced, that I keep a list of books that I want to look into, and then there's even a movie sheet here too. Again, those are things that I use because my journal, as you guys know, it's almost like an extension of my planner. It's where I explore things, and And then this is helpful. There's always, and I actually must have skipped over it in the new package that I got. There's always a sheet with weights and measures, which is helpful, conversions, and then a map of the United States with zip codes and area codes. I really like these sheets too. They don't come in every journal, or in every Franklin Covey setup, but I like this task sheet. You could also buy, I don't know if I have one handy. Yeah, I have one. You can also buy sheets like this, even at Staples, you know, and they are compatible. I write a lot. Oh, all right, and so this thing in the middle, remember in my planner, I showed you guys this before when I went over my planner. I use the little plastic thing here for this Love, Peace, Joy, All is Well that I have. But the way it's really set up for Franklin Covey is for these weekly compasses, they're called. So this is where you're writing down your roles and the things that week you want to accomplish or emulate related to those roles. So I have tons of these weekly compass pages because I don't really use them. But I have been known to take one and put it on the back of my thing in my planner. You know, if I wanted to have something in there as a reminder. Like maybe my shopping list or something like that. Oh, and these are really helpful. I have these in the back of my planner now for business cards and discount cards. There's so many things you can get. This one is actually like a little pouch, you know, that you can put other things in. And then I have tons, I just always keep the extra pages that you get. And there's even things like stickers for various appointments and stuff. Those are actually Franklin Covey ones, but I like the Happy Planner stickers. So in the front of my planner, I have a place for business cards and things. There's there's even a zipper pouch here. It's not super organized right now. Now that I got my new pages, I'll have fun getting it all organized. But I'll keep things in here like schedules that I may need. I also forgot to tell you, I usually like to buy the blank tabs, although I do really like these new ones. But the reason I like the blank ones is because see how when you use theirs, well, these are still Franklin Covey pages, but I just buy them at Staples. But I don't necessarily like the lined look of the ones that they do, so I usually buy these blank ones because I have fun with my stickers. Like, let me go back to another, like, there you go. I like to do little accents of stickers and things. So, it's so time for me to go through my planner here, and I want to make sure I don't show anything super sensitive here. Like, I have a few extra tabs, like, planning would be like the extra calendars for the coming year. There's my values and missions, key information, finances, goals. Then I have a tab for, and you can see these are sort of makeshift from like another year that I had. But there's also tasks, personal notes, and addresses, and I really need to rewrite my addresses. That's one thing I want to do. And then I keep my old tabs here from past things. And in fact, let me see if I can grab it easily. I mean, I told you guys I've had these planners for years and years. So this is actually like 2018. What you're supposed to do at the end of the month is once you've done things, oh my God, I had so little to do back then. That's so different. But you're supposed to, at the end of the month, date it and do a summary of anything that you want to just be able to look back on, because it's not realistic that you're going to keep all of your planner pages for the entire year. I will say I do have mine from the past couple of years, but like going back to, this is I think 2008 through 2012, okay? So then you can eliminate all of your daily pages, but you still have your, look at all the different ones I've had. Like I've had so many different, like this was her point of view. I liked that one a lot. But anyway, you don't have to save all the pages. You can just save the monthly tabs. What other ones have I had? Mostly Her Point of View is one that I had. And then the last 10 years or so, I've been pretty hooked on the Seasons ones. So it's a big deal that I switched to these Bloom ones. I'm going to have so much fun this afternoon. I'm going to get my planner set up. I usually only put 1 month in at a time because otherwise, see how thick this is already? I don't put the whole year in. So I keep the coming month's pages in one of my extra little things. Actually, Franklin Covey won't like that I'm showing you these, just these basic ones, because they actually sell them with the year on them, and you can, I don't go so far as to do that. I actually think I picked those up at a secondhand store once. There was like 7 or 8 of them, and they work perfectly for my old pages and then any excess forms and stuff that I want to keep. So that was my sort of disorganized walk through Franklin Covey and my new planner pages. I'm so excited. They're so pretty. It's nice to have a change too, because like I said, I've had those Seasons ones for years and I just wanted to get something new. Hope you like it. Hope you look into the Franklin Covey setup if you are interested in it. It sure is a whole lifestyle, really. It keeps you on task and also exploring what's important to you and values and roles and all the things that I find to be really helpful to do. And go back and watch that video. It's way back in January. I'll put a link to it too. And you can check out the cross-referencing of a lot of the things that I do in my hardcover journal that mirror a lot of what we talked about today. All right, I will see you guys in the next video, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.